out there. This is supposed to be just a quick video of an explanation of the Big Ten, kind of the close range, medium range blocks. So I'm going to try with my partner Sarah, who's very keen on the subject. It's kind of impossible to do a quick summary of all these things, but you know what, having said that, we're going to try. So we have a variety of tools to help us understand the basic Big Ten. And basically what it is you have a short weapon, right? So you block with it very different than you would with a longer weapon. And you have two realities when you're close. And what we mean by close is that you're close enough for not just your hand to reach a target, your hand with the weapon that is, but your secondary hand can reach in and grab at least their hand, right? Having said that, because that's a very close range, there's two possible ways to block in almost every position you're caught at this close. With your tip up or your tip is down. So as a great example, in this position, if she was coming in this way, I don't have enough time to go underneath and what we would call a roof block, right? But I do have enough time to just inside parry and make an inside shield block, as we call it, right? And that is the kind of reality we're playing with. So to open up the whole subject, we have a few different toys and tools nearby, but as a basic concept, if you're playing with your basic stances, you're trying to tinker, right? It's a good idea to just start swinging at that side of the neck, right? To get used to that's the attack area, right? Notice the point of impact, and then just notice a bit of zoning can get you away from it, right? Get away from it, right? And that's the basic first concept. If your tip is up, right, you're gonna do one block. If your tip is down, you're gonna do another block. If the strike is coming in from this direction, right, you're gonna try and go away from it, right? Because they're trying to hit your head, right? Your temple, your neck, something like that, right? So you're gonna go away from the strike, if that makes sense. We use the expression zone to zero pressure, right? Like they're trying to hit here, this is like 100%. You don't wanna be there. You wanna be at either that zero or this zero, away from the force of the strike or the tip, right? So the zoning for both things, surprisingly, right, even though you can't see your feet, you can see a bit of the movement, and what you're doing is you're going away from the strike, right, and kind of reorienting your center, your position, you might say, right, from one quick step away from it. And it's the same on the other side, but we'll get there when we get there. As a first idea, if your tip is up, you're almost doing the exact same strike they're doing to you, you're just hitting their hand, right? So you don't hit their hand, you hit just above them on the stick. So I'll slow it down, right? You'd hit here, right? Trying as much as you can hit with the tips of your sticks, right? Right, and put in your checking hand. Now you're close enough that she can hit you, right? So as that hand comes out, you better have a plan or something. But we'll get into that maybe another video, right? But this reality of the second hand does not go away just because you've looked after the front hand, but another time. If your stick is down, just like mine is here, see it's off screen, she comes in that same angle. Once again, moving is going to help me quite a bit, right? So never forget to zone. But in this case, you just put up your stick. Notice it kind of bump past her hand, because that's the best place to hit. From that position, just open it up. There's your first two blocks from the high line, right? If they come in this side, in this case, once again, my stick is down. So there's very little time to do something. So just like your roof block on the other side, you're almost just bringing it straight up, right? Curling it in that position, trying to have a window to look through. That'll help you, right? And the biggest help of all is, once again, just to learn to zone. Learn to move away from the strike's intention. If they're intending to strike you here, the oomph of the strike will be here, right? So get away from that one spot and learn to zone. The zoning in this case is also super simple, even though you can't see my footwork. You're zoning and just readjusting your stance, once again, to center, right? Express your center better. Right, so let's start again on this side. If she's coming in this way, get a feel for that backhand, right? It's coming in there, it's coming into your temple, right? It creates a certain reality with her structures like the other side does. If my tip is up, I am gonna zone, right? I'm gonna get to this side of it if I can. I'm gonna attack the hand holding the weapon, right? What we call an outside shield, but just like the other side, it's almost like the same angle too, right? She's striking me with, I'm striking her, right? And you pop in one extra strike. As far as I know, it's the only strike you ever learn, defense, where you check and you actually return a strike as part of the move. I'm an old school JKD guy too, so I don't know where that came from. You don't learn to move with any other strikes, as far as I know. If your tip is down, you don't have time, go nice and slow, just put it right in my temple, right? You don't have time to do this. And trust me, I've been in this situation a lot. You don't have time, right? You wish you did. What you do have time for is your wing block. So you gotta work your wing block. One of the things that helps your wing block the most just isn't the structure of it, not having it too high or too low. Having a window, having some actual structure there. The zoning is the one thing that helps it the most, right? It's a very weak position compared to other blocking positions, and the zoning itself helps give all structure and helps you center, right? You can't see the low line, right? So we're not gonna play with the low line, but I will illustrate these ideas with what do you do against a knife? And the same kind of concept, as long as it's short, notice it's short, you can wield the weapon with one hand. The same kind of thing happens, right? You train for hitting the hand. You train above the hand when you're training, right? You get gloves is what we do. You get gloves so you can hit the hand as hard as you want and make it part of your training, right? We don't have gloves on right now. But it's exactly the same because the positions themselves, right, are the same, right? Because it's a short weapon, go on that side again, right? Here's my roof on this side. Here's my wing on this side, right? It doesn't change just because you have a different thing. In fact, the structure is even more explained by edges, right? Because it helps us understand why would we even move? You gotta go back to a knife, a real short weapon. She's this close. There's angle one right there. Where's her hand, right? It's right there, right? So, right, and many other combinations. But same on this side where you only have a second. A mere second or a fraction of a second, one more time, right? To make a decision on what to do with your strength and posture. And so these positions themselves and the minimal zoning you use with a knife and the zoning you use with a stick, right? They're mostly based on the same basic concept. Attack the hand holding the weapon, defang the snake, zone to zero pressure, right? There is a reality with short weapons on the quickness of them, right? So if your tip is up, with a knife it doesn't matter so much. Right? If your tip is up or down, it does with everything else. So, the point of most training is you have to steel. That's why you spend lots of time with wood and never regret all your time with plastic knives and wooden and rattan. You're doing it for a reason. You're trying to get to these things, right? You want to be able to play with real steel. So from the same concept, you don't have to go fast once again, right? But now you should have an idea of, I can't be here, this is the worst place to be. Right, I gotta get to at least here, so about the oomph of a swing. Just with a parry, you can stop our whole structure, right? But you added a check. I'll go through them again, actually. Here's tip up block. Here's a tip up block with strike. Here's a tip down situation, right? Nice and high, right? And I would roof it, right? And open it. Right, wouldn't it be nice to hit the hand with real steel? We don't have the guarding tech yet, but we will one day maybe. Same on this side, right? Where you're still looking at your structure, a window, and you're thinking, what's the thing that can make it work more? Almost guaranteed it's gonna be zone. Just zone a little. Get to an angle and it makes it work, right? We really can't show too much of the low line from our camera, right? But there's a quick explanation of some of the top of the big, kind of like box pattern, Big Ten. So we're gonna play a little bit here. We're gonna just box pattern. So those Big Ten, so to speak, they come up in a drill, you know, long associated with many people, right? Most people know the box pattern, right? But at least it puts your Big Ten, so to speak, in a context where you can start to learn. Your box pattern starts getting freelance as soon as you can handle it. With or without swords, your opponents might start throwing in different blocks and strikes at you. And it's up to you to have a structure to save it, save yourself or not, right? So it happens with all things, right?